My name is Linda Farrelly. I'm originally from Dublin but living in Ratota, County Meath. I'm founder CEO of Wendeavour Limited, and we have produced an online hyperlocal communications tool that enables overwhelmed and under-resourced public safety agencies to more efficiently and effectively communicate with their local populations during disasters such as hurricanes, wildfires, dam breaches, oil spills, whatever it might be. But it allows them to get down and communicate with individuals within the community or whole swathes of the community at a time. My responsibilities and day-to-day activities range from speaking with potentially huge clients to going back and debugging through the issues list in GitHub, business development, producing decks, putting together paperwork. It's just very chief team maker. But yeah, so the range of activities can go from one extreme to the other. But it's very enjoyable because it changes every day. You don't know what each day is going to bring, so it can go anywhere, and I love that. The unknown, love it. I was always a bit into tech. I have three brothers who are all gamers. There was a Commodore 64 in the house. There was whatever came after them. Then I got into geography. I'm a big geography fan, and I did an undergrad in geography, and I did a master's in remote sensing. So there was always tech in my learnings. So obviously I just grew with it, and then with Risk Alert, that came about because I realised people hadn't got a means to know what had happened, whether it was a very local issue, a child had been approached by a stranger, or whether it was a levee breaching and the village was at risk of flooding. There was sirens, but there was no real way for the local agencies to, communicate with people to try and get them out of the way of oncoming harm. So that's how Risk Alert came to be, and the tech just kind of grew with me. I'm working in the government tech, the GovTech sector, so unfortunately it's hard to break into because there's embedded systems, there's a fear of change in some regards. So I find that it's taken a lot more time than if I had a product to sell straight to consumers. I have to go in, you have to prove your product to two parties, to the government, and all of that involves, it might be the guy who's facing the electorate, it might be the guy whose neck or head is on the plate if it all goes pear-shaped, but it's also you're trying to prove it to the citizen as well that they'll have buy-in. So there's a lot of folks that have to buy into Risk Alert, but it's for their greater benefit. But other than that, I don't see any other, I'd imagine it's as difficult as it is to break into any kind of scene. Maybe a little bit more because there's legislation and there's restraints in that regard, but I'd imagine everybody finds the same walls that they have to climb over and the same obstacles they have to break through. So I wouldn't imagine it's any harder or any easier than anyone else's sector and industry, and you just keep going till you get there. So my family and friends think I'm mad as a brush. With the whole startup, there's highs and there's lows, and during the lows they might sort of step around or walk on eggshells and sort of try to maybe set the seed for me to find work in something else or something a bit more secure, or because everything goes into the startup. At night time you're reading articles, you're listening to podcasts, you kind of do away with living normally while you're in it. So there's been a few occasions, my parents in particular would be like, maybe you should just go and get a nice well-paid job and, be able to live as everybody else does. But it wouldn't be the same. It doesn't excite me like the startup or Risk Alert excites me. So the sacrifice, I don't see it as a sacrifice anymore. It's just what needs to happen in order to get to where I need to be. So so I might be mad as a brush, but hopefully it all works out in the end. I'd recommend this job to anyone, male or female. If you've got something that you believe is worth following through with and worth sacrificing the normality of life, or chasing it down because it's going to bring benefits to a large population or a large number of people. And in this day and age with tech availability, grants, the means, if you've got the opportunity to do it, if you live in a place on earth and you have those opportunities around you, I don't see why you wouldn't, because life is short and there's no point being unhappy in your work. So find your passion, find what it is that gets you up out of bed or has you reading till 1 o'clock in the morning, and chase it. And the sense of achievement at each milestone is just, it's fantastic. It's like, jeez, I didn't think I'd make it, but we're here now, let's go, what's the next thing to do, you know? So that drive is just, it's fantastic. It's a lovely feeling. It's almost addictive. So go out, chase your dreams, do what you want to do.